Hello, and welcome back to Learning Russian with Learn Russian. Let's move right along to lesson number 4 of Learn Russian. This one is a bit of a mixed bag. It kind of combines a few different things. So here you see it mentions possessive pronouns. So yeah, you will learn about possessive pronouns, but also some other things which are not reflected in the title. So let's just go right ahead to task 1. This is once again a listening exercise where we have to fill in the blanks. These are usually fairly easy because even if you don't understand everything that people say, you can usually match people's words to the text that we have over here, assuming that as long as you understand the Cyrillic alphabet, then it's usually not too difficult unless people are speaking very quickly. Anyway, let's go ahead and get started.
Здравствуйте, меня зовут Александр.
Okay, so starting off pretty standard. Здравствуйте, my name is Alexander. So let's go ahead and take Alexander from here and put Alexander up there. Okay.
Стажер? Привет, Александр. Меня зовут Юля. Я секретарь.
Okay. Стажер. Стажер is like a trainee, like somebody starting learning the new job. So she's asking if he's a stagior. Hello, Alexander. My name is Yulia. And then she said, I'm a sekretar. So she's a secretary. That is also pretty straightforward so far.
Очень приятно.
Давай на «ты».
Okay, so he says, очень приятно, nice to meet you. And then she says, давай на «ты». So that's basically an invitation to say, let's not say вы any longer since we're friends, since we will continue to be working closely with each other. Let's go ahead and use the more informal form of ты. This is a ritual that's familiar to Germans when they say, okay, let's stop saying Sie and say du instead. So she says, okay, let's continue with ты and not вы. He says, хорошо, he agrees.
Хорошо.
Иван Васильевич, здесь стажер, Саша.
Okay, so she's introducing him. Здесь means here, or like here is. So here's the стажер, Sasha. Sasha is you can see it's calling him Sasha, even though he introduces himself as Alexander. Sasha is sort of the Russian cute form or friendly form of Alexander. So he is a stagior, and she's introducing him as a stagior. So здесь стажер Sasha.
Покажи ему все, расскажи.
So here we go. So this guy, Ivan Vasilievich, is saying покажи means like to show. So he's saying show him everything and tell. This is another sort of distinctly Russian formation. They just say tell. In English you would say tell him all about everything or something like that, but in Russian they just say show him all, tell. Okay.
Все? Хорошо. Так, это наша фирма.
Это наша фирма. This is our company, okay? I guess that's a pretty logical way to start. Notice that since firma ends with A, it is feminine, so it's naša firma. Our firma is naša firma and not naš firma, naš, which would be used for masculine genders.
Я знаю.
I know, yeah. I guess it's a bit obvious. She says, this is our company. He says, I know. Yes, I don't think you need to state that this is our company.
Это наш директор.
Okay, now we use the наш. Это наш директор. This is our director. Can I? Yes, I can. There we go.
Иван Васильевич. Это наш бухгалтер, Елена Петровна, его жена.
Okay, this is our Buchhalter, bookkeeper, just like Buchhalter in German. So Елена Petrovna is his wife. She's the wife of Mr. Ivan Vasilievich. So его жена, his wife. Let's go ahead and put его here.
Интересно.
Interesting.
А это их дети.
Ich дети. Ich is their, so, and this is their children. It's getting a bit awkward because the screen size means that I'm going to have to scroll. Yeah, I'm going to have to kind of scroll off the page. All right, whatever. We'll manage.
Это Антон, он менеджер. Это Андрей, он тоже менеджер. Это Анна, она...
Тоже менеджер?
Нет, она администратор. Так, это Антон, это Светлана, его жена.
Okay, so I think this is pretty straightforward. This is Anton, he's a manager. This is Andrei, he's also a manager. This is Anna, she's, and then Sasha guesses, also a manager? No, she's an administrator. I think this might be, again, a subtle example of Russian humor, because the question then is, what is the difference between a manager and an administrator? I think this may be a bit of that subtle Russian sense of humor creeping in. Okay, and once again, this is Svetlana, его жена, his wife. She is a logist? Is that a logist? I think that might be a logistics
Она логист. А рядом Степан, это их сын. Он еще студент.
Это их сын. He is their son.
Но работает здесь.
Здесь интересно. А вы? Ой, ты.
Я? Вот смотри. Это Андрей. У него есть друг Юра. Я его жена.
Okay.
А твой муж?
Moment. What did she say? I think she said that. Okay. Sorry, I'm trying to translate in my head and trying to fill in the blanks at the same time. So, let's see. So Stepan, he's their son. He is still a student, but works here. That's interesting. And then he says, a вы and you, and then he corrects himself because he forgot that they're supposed to say ты now. So he says, a вы, ты, me. Look here. This is Andrei. He has his friend Yura, and I am his wife.
Что же здесь работает?
Wait, hold on. Is that right? I forgot what she said now. Sorry, I'm getting mixed up. Unfortunately, these exercises don't let you actually go back for some reason. You can't drag the slider to the left, so you have to finish it and then start it over again. Hold on. What did... let me... So Sasha is asking does your husband also work here? So that should be a tvой муж. Oops. There we go. So... Твой муж тоже здесь работает? Your husband also here works?
Да, он программист.
Ты тоже программист?
Ну да. А ты чей сын, брат, муж?
Okay. Here she asks this interesting word чей, which we will see later in the lesson. It means whose. For a masculine noun, because sin is obviously masculine, so чей сын. And she's asking, okay, so yes, he's a programmer. Are you also a programmer? Well, yes. Ну да is kind of a Russian formation of like, well, yeah. And then she says, and you are whose son, brother, or husband? And then he says, ничей, nobody's.
Ничей.
Как ничей? Иван Васильевич, кто это?
So basically you get the idea that everybody in this company is related. And so at the end she says, so you are whose son, brother, or husband? He says, nobody's. So then she... Как means like how, so it's like how nobody's, like how is that possible? And then she says, who is this? Okay. Bit of a longer one there, and I don't really know what was the point there, unless that was their way of introducing this word чей, but anyway. Okay, yes, words еще and уже. These are basically opposites. Еще means something like still in English, like, Well, here it means yet. Еще нет means not yet. But you can also say еще something to mean, yeah, it's still like that, still the case. And then уже is already. So you have a car, the уже есть. Yes, already have, or already is. Okay, that's pretty straightforward. Let's see now. Let's listen. Oh, is this the same dialogue again?
Здравствуйте, меня зовут Александр.
Yes, this is actually the same dialogue all over again. Well, we don't need to listen to it again. We can read it here if we need to reference it. That's probably easier. So Ivan Vasilovich and Yelena Petrovna, это... Wait, what are the options here? Oh, I see. So Ivan and then Yelena is его жена. That was correct, right? She was, I'm pretty sure Yelena was the, wait, Yulia was the woman talking, so who's Yelena? Yeah, so there's Ivan Vasilovich, and then, yeah, Yelena Petrovna is его жена, his wife. Okay, that's fine. Ivan and Yelena, Anton, Andrei и Anna, это их дети, that was their children. Anton, and then Svetlana is, once again, his wife, I believe. Looking at the options, she must be his wife, since all the other three options here are masculine. Anton, and then Stepan is, hold on, who was Stepan? Stepan is... Yeah, Stepan is the son of Anton. Yes, Stepan is Anton's son. So Anton and then Stepan, это его сын, his son. And then Yura was his friend. Yura, even though Yura ends in A, it's a form of Yuri, and so Yuri is a man's name. And then Yulia, Yura is ее муж, her husband. Okay, still pretty straightforward. Okay, moving right along. Let's see now.
Мой муж – дантист.
Dentist. Okay. Is that dentist? I'm actually not 100% sure if that's dentist, but I believe so. So, my husband, dentist. In case I haven't mentioned it, and in case you haven't already noticed, Russian has no formation like is in or is the in English. In English, of course, you'd say my husband is a dentist, but in Russian, you just say my husband, and then this dash here, and then dentist to indicate the status or profession or whatever, or condition, if you're using a noun to describe. Actually, also for an adjective, if you say my husband is tall, for example, you'd say the same thing. There's no word for is. You just say мой муж and then tall, my husband tall. Okay.
Его папа – юрист.
Okay, his father is a jurist, a lawyer. Here, jurist.
Его мама – директор.
Okay, his mama is a director. It's also apparently not uncommon, even in relatively formal settings, to use words like mama and papa in Russian. You'd think this might sound like baby talk in English. Like you wouldn't, in a relatively formal context, you wouldn't say my mama is a director in English. But in Russian, this is fairly common. The more formal Russian word is mat, but for a mother, but Russian people don't seem to say mat very often. They even in like business settings, they'll say mama to refer to their mother, and this is considered normal. So.
Его брат – финансовый инспектор.
Okay, his brother is a financial inspector. I think hopefully inspector is pretty clear.
А моя сестра – филолог.
Okay, and my sister is a a philologist. This is a title that you don't really hear much in English, I have to admit, I don't really know in Russian if philologist is considered a viable career path. Like, are there actually people who put philologist on their resumes or CVs? Don't know. I'm not really don't have too much experience with the Russian job search process or the Russian employment market, so I'm not really sure. I know there is a field called philology that you study in university, because I knew some people who studied philology in university, but I was under the impression that that's something, that you study in university, and then when you get out, you do something else. Philology is different from linguistics also. It's kind of like linguistics in that it's the study of language, but it's not the same, because philology is more concerned with like the origin of words, kind of like the etymology of words and things like that. Anyway, moving on.
Мой папа спелеолог.
Мой papa is what is? Okay, I apologize. Once again, I'm at a loss. I don't know what a speleolog is. I should probably make a habit of looking these up and putting notes into the videos after making them. Perhaps I'll do that, but you can look up speleolog if you are very curious.
Моя мама кондуктор.
Conductor, okay. I don't know if that means a train conductor or a conductor of electricity, but
А я спортивный инструктор.
okay, and a sport instructor. Generally, you can get the sense, once you spend some time with a language, you can kind of get an idea of how important words are by getting a sense of whether you've heard them or seen them before. This speleolog is not a word that I've seen very often, so I'm really not too worried about it. I'm actually not too embarrassed that I don't know what it is, because this is not I don't think this is a commonly used word. So, I mean, it's obviously some job title, so don't worry too much about it. I don't think at this stage this is a word that you really need to understand in too much detail. Here, on the other hand, is a concept that you should probably know, since this is one of the key focuses of this lesson. These are the possessive pronouns. So you can see they're sorted. These are sorted by gender. So the top line is, it doesn't quite work like that. Okay. The top line is for masculine nouns. So like, for example, mой муж, my husband. Then моя for feminine things. For example, моя жена, my wife. Moyo is for gender-neutral things, like, what's an example now? Pivo, beer. Moyo pivo, my beer. And then moy is for plurals. And then this applies going on for your, her, his, our, your, and their. Her and his are easy. His is always yevo for all genders, and her is always yeyo. So that's easy. And then their is always ich. The others have 4 forms, one for each gender and then one for plural. So, and now we get to sort these things according to, funnily enough, actually no, this is different. This is not sorting them according to personal pronouns, but according to the question, whose. So, we saw this word before, che, and this means whose, but only for masculine things. So down here, che, for example, telephone is masculine, so che telephone is whose telephone. But then you have cha and cho and chi for feminine, neutral, and plural things, respectively. So this is really just another gender sorting exercise. It's fairly straightforward. One important thing to notice, please do make note of this. This is something important to know and to remember. This word деньги, which means money, is always plural. In other languages, money is, it's an uncountable noun normally, and so it would normally, in most languages, it's just, it's a substance, like water. You don't really have plural for it. But in Russian, money is always plural. It doesn't have any singular gender or any singular form. Деньги is always plural. That is important to know. Please do keep that in mind. Okay, moving on. Skype. Skype is obviously it's actually a trademark. In English, it's not used as a general noun. It's only used as a trademark of a specific internet, voice telephony product. But in Russian, Skype has sort of come to be used as a generalized trademark. There are many words in English and in other languages which started off as trademarks and became so widely used that they became generalized. And in Russian, Skype is one of those words. So Skype is generally used for online voice communication, even though in English it is still obviously a registered trademark of the company that owns the name. So anyway, Skype is masculine because it ends in consonant. Same is true for the internet, so we put those under che because these are masculine. Sistema is feminine because it ends in a. No surprises so far. Novosti is plural. That means news. And the news in like a newspaper or something is rendered as plural. I believe that's news. Is that right? Actually, now I think about it, I'm not 100% sure. I believe that's news. So it's, anyway, I know it's plural for sure. I know that much. Client is masculine. Baza, base, is feminine. Kino, because it ends with O, is neutral. Dieti is plural. It's children. Lampa, lamp, feminine. Metro ends in O. Metro is like a subway or what in London would be called the underground or the tube, perhaps. Billet, billet, ticket is masculine. Musée is, what is musée? I believe musée is, I'm pretty sure musée is masculine also. Sistra, sister, is feminine. Dedushka is grandfather. So even though it ends in A, grandfather is masculine. Stool, masculine. Moria is neutral. Noch is this one's a bit confusing. This ending with the ch and then the soft sign. This one can trip you up if you don't know what it is. Noch, night, is feminine. Kniga is book, also feminine. Journal, masculine. Coffee, I think I talked about this before. Coffee is kind of tricky because it ends in E, which usually implies that it's usually would suggest that it is neutral, but no, coffee is an exception. It is masculine. Chassis, hours is, wait, what's chassis? This is, this is, I actually don't know. Hold on, let me just quickly check. This looks like it should be plural. Why don't I see it in my list now? Okay, let me come back to that one. Chai, tea. Okay, that one is masculine, pretty sure. Vada, water, that's feminine. Karti, plural of karta, which is map, and I think also cards. That's, anyway, it's a plural. Problema is feminine. Bureau is neutral. And then what do I do with chassis? Is this, okay, that was a plural, yes, okay. Okay. All right, here we go. Listen to the dialogues and answer the questions. Okay, this one is a little bit different because this is not just fill in the blanks. You have to actually understand and interpret the audio. So let's listen carefully.
Дирк, что ты делаешь?
So, Dirk, one of these two guys is named Dirk, I guess, Dirk. And then they said, что ты делаешь? What are you doing?
Я смотрю новости.
Я смотрю новости. So here we see again this word новости. Yeah, so he's reading the news. He's смотри means like to look at. So he's saying I'm looking at the news.
И что?
И что? Literally and what, which means kind of an informal way of saying so what, or like what is it then?
Ничего интересного. А
Ничего интересного. So nothing interesting.
что ты смотришь?
А что ты смотришь? And what are you looking at?
Я смотрю твои имейлы. Что?
And he's looking at email.
Шутка. Я смотрю индексы.
What? He said at the end, I'm looking at indexes. Okay. Does he mean stock? I assume maybe he means stock indexes because it looks like, I'm not sure which one of these is Dirk and which is Mark, but assuming this guy's looking at indexes, then that makes sense. He's looking at some kind of financial or stock indexes. Okay, that kind of makes sense. Okay, so Dirk was looking at
Дирк, что ты делаешь?
Я смотрю новости.
Okay, so что делает Dirk? What is Dirk doing? He is смотрит новости. He looks at or is looking at новости, news. And then Mark was looking at индексы. Whoops. Okay, and the website takes us automatically to the second of the two dialogues up here. You can see there's 1 and 2 up here. All right, second dialogue.
Кто смотрит сериал «Идиот»?
Я смотрю, но не часто. А мой муж не смотрит. Он говорит, что неинтересно. А что?
А я все смотрю. У меня дома компьютер не работает, только телевизор.
Понимаю.
Okay. So one woman is asking, okay, I don't want to dwell on this one too long because I didn't quite get it, and I don't think that's only my own fault. I think the context is not quite clear. Basically, the woman's saying who watches television serials, and then the other woman is saying, "Oh, I watch them when I'm at home. I just look at the television." Okay, but it doesn't say which one is. Oh, Tatiana is, I guess, the one who spoke first, and then the one who's married is Svetlana. So I think the point was Tatiana was saying that she doesn't like television serials because they're not very intelligent. They're kind of like not for educated, civilized, cultured people. Russians do tend to be somewhat judgmental, more so than like Western Europeans, I guess. So Tatiana is saying, no, I'm a person who looks down on those who watch television. I don't watch television, but the husband of Svetlana does. Did I get that right? Oh, did I misunderstand? Okay, maybe it's completely inverted. Maybe then. Okay. Yeah. Okay. You know what? I'm not going to dwell on that. I didn't quite catch what they said, and I'm not too worried about it now. That was just like a small sideshow. That this is a small thing. So basically, yeah, слушаем и отвечаем. So listening and answering. That's kind of the important thing here. Except I didn't hear it very well. Okay, let's move on. Conjunctions и, но, and тоже. So these are all fairly simple. И means and. That's pretty straightforward. Он хорошо говорит по-английски и по-русски. He speaks English and Russian well. Но means but. So, он плохо читает, но хорошо говорит по-немецки. He reads German poorly, but he can speak it well. So и is and, но is but. And тоже is as well. Or to. My dad is a programmer, and I'm also a programmer. So that's тоже. A is an interesting Russian word. There's no real equivalent in English. A is basically a combination of E and no. It's like kind of halfway between and but. So here's an example. Москва не маленький, а большой город. Moscow is not a small, but a big city. So a kind of forms a contrast. It's kind of like saying, well, okay, here's something, but in addition to that, here's something else. So no is just used to mean like a contradiction or like something that kind of breaks away or you know, so like in this case, yeah, he doesn't read well, but speaks well. But here it's saying Moscow is not small, but big. This is a kind of formulation you have to get used to in Russian. Is a word which I think you can get the feel of pretty intuitively after you've started using it, but it might be a bit confusing at first when to use and when to use e or no, because is used to represent a contrast, not a contradiction necessarily, but a contrast to what was said. So, okay, here we go. Семья, family. Listen and read. This is actually... There's nothing to do here. This is not a task. This is just a... it's just a thing that you can play and read. So yeah, I'm not going to do this. If you want to do this, of course, you can do this on your own time. I don't want to... Oh, Okay, my mistake. I will need to. Okay, let's do this. Let me go ahead and play it, and I'm not going to interpret the whole thing. I'll just play it once so we can go through it.
Привет, меня зовут Кевин. Это моя семья. Это моя мама. Ее зовут Элизабет. Она домохозяйка. Это мой папа. Его зовут Кирк. Он финансист. Он тоже не работает. Он пенсионер. Мои родители смотрят телевизор все время. Это моя сестра, Кира, и ее друг Мартин. Они студенты. Не работают. Я думаю, что они только пьют пиво и слушают музыку. Это мои дядя и тетя. Они тоже не работают. Они говорят, что работать – это плохо для психики. Они всегда отдыхают на море. А это моя жена Мария. Она дизайнер. Как вы думаете, что она делает? Да, она тоже не работает. Но она читает журналы по дизайну каждый день. А это ее родители. Вы думаете, они работают? Нет, конечно. Они говорят, что работать сейчас неинтересно. Это наш кот, Вася. Он из России. И вы знаете, он тоже не работает. Но он много думает. Загадочная русская душа. Я работаю. Да, это правда. Я аудитор. Я работаю каждый день. Много.
Seems like a bit of an unhappy situation there. So basically, the gentleman who was speaking, his name is Kevin, and this is his family, and the whole story is basically about how nobody in his family works. So yeah, this is my dad. His name is Kirk. He's a financist, a financial financier, I guess. He does not work. He's a pensioner. My relatives watch television all the time. This is my sister Kira and her friend, or I guess probably boyfriend, Martin. It's not really a distinction. I think there's not really a distinction between friend and boyfriend in Russian. It's kind of like, the same problem exists in German. When you say mein Freund, it literally means my friend, but it can also mean my boyfriend, so it's sometimes a bit unclear. Okay, they are students and they do not work. I know that... I think, sorry, я думаю, I think that they only drink beer and listen to music, okay? This is my uncle and aunt. They also do not work. They say that they work... Oh, they say that work is bad for the psyche. They always... they always go to the sea, okay. This is my wife, Maria. She is a designer. What do you think? Does she? What do you think she does? Yes, she also doesn't work, but she reads journals about design every day. And this is her family. Do you think that they work? No, of course. Конечно means of course. So in this case, нет, конечно means of course not. And they say that working is not interesting now. Yes, it would be nice to just say, I'm not interested in work. I'm just going to not work anymore. Okay, and this is our cat, Vasya. He is from Russia. And you know that he does not work, yes. But he thinks a lot. Загадочная русская душа, the mysterious Russian soul. Again, here we see a bit of... this is Russians being funny. This is sort of a common concept about the mysterious Russian soul that you can only you can't understand it. You can only feel it. Okay, I work. Yes, it's true. I'm an auditor. I work every day a lot. Okay, let's see now if we can fill in. Actually, we might not have needed that. We probably could have worked that out because this is about. This is about personal pronouns. Actually, we probably didn't need to go through all that to get this, but that's fine. Okay, this is Kevin and his mama. So obviously that's female. So it's actually it doesn't matter that mama is female. It's his mama. So it's его mama. This is his mama and his papa. Это его mama, его papa. And likewise, his sister and her friend or boyfriend, ее друг Martin. And это guess, его жена. Generally, if you ever see something like жена, wife, you can assume the personal pronoun is probably his. In Russia, gay marriage is not really very widely recognized or popular at this point in time, and so you wouldn't really, I don't think in these lessons we'll see a concept like his husband or her wife, even though in many places, in many countries, that would be possible. Here, I think a woman is always going to be his wife and a man will always be her husband. So, okay, ее зовут Maria. Her name is Maria. Это... Oh, and this is their family. And then... Oh, sorry, no, it's her family. Ее родители, her relatives. Maria, это их кот. This is their cat. Okay. So, papa и мама is родители. Wait, is родители? Wait, is родители parents? Hold on, let me just quickly, actually we have a dictionary up here. We can look up a word here. Let me quickly just, oh, that closed the lesson. That's unfortunate. Yeah, родители. I'm sorry about that. Родители is parents, not relatives. Why did I think it was relatives? Родители is parents. These are her parents, not her relatives. Okay, well, of course, parents are a type of relative, but parents... Okay, I apologize for that. That was a mistake on my part. Сын и дочь, son and daughter, are дети, children. Друг и подруга is друзья. So, boyfriend and girlfriend are friends. I think подруга, if I'm not mistaken... It is obviously feminine, but I think подруга is used for a platonic female friend, like not your girlfriend, not someone you're romantically dating. Russian does have separate words for this. I'm pretty sure. I actually don't know about male friends, but I know because I had to clarify once when I was speaking about a woman. She's my friend, but not my girlfriend. We're not dating. She's just a friend of mine. So I had to use the word подруга to clarify. She's my подруга, but not she's my friend, but not my girlfriend. Antonyms. Papa is the opposite of mama. Dedushka is the opposite of babushka, so grandpa and grandma. Brother and sister, son and daughter. What is внук? I'll come back to that in a moment. Husband and wife, дядя, uncle and aunt, друг and подруга, male friend and female friend. What is внук? Let me open up the vocabulary again and check. Yeah, I can check that here. Внук. What is missing it? I don't seem to see внук here in this list. Okay, I'm going to guess based on that. Yeah, again, if you don't see a word very often, you don't really need to worry about it too much. You don't need to get too upset about it, because these are words that you probably won't use very often at this stage. You should when you're learning a language, you should learn words that are commensurate with the level that you're learning at. And so more obscure words, more uncommon words, you don't need to worry too much about. But I am curious enough now that I'm actually going to go ahead and look it up elsewhere, since I'd like to at least be able to... Oh, внук is grandson. Okay, and then vnuchka must be then granddaughter. Okay, thought it might be something like that. It would be nice if the site had it in their vocabulary list, though, since it appears in the lesson. All right, anyway. All right, read the text, семья, family. Еще раз. This is a phrase that you should probably get used to. Еще раз means one more time, literally like still time, but it means again time, one more time. And then answer the questions. Okay. Oh, actually, there's an English translation down here. Yeah, read семья one more time and answer the questions. Okay. Does Kevin have a sister? Let's check. Did he Did he mention a sister? I thought he did, but now I'm not. Yeah, here we go. Moja sestra Kira. So yes, he has a sister, Kira. Does he have a sister? Da. The options, by the way, here are da, niet, and не знаю. So yes, no, or don't know. I guess don't know would be used for a question which is not answered in the text. In fact, this might be such a question. У Kira есть брат. Does Kira have a brother? Does it... Oh, actually, based on the fact that the guy telling the story is mentioning that this woman is his sister, I'm going to assume that yes, she has a brother, since this guy, Kevin, is her brother. So does Kira have a brother? Yes, he's the narrator of the text. У Кирка есть жена. Does Kirk have a wife? Yeah, he did, didn't he? He said, yeah, moja žena Maria, his wife Maria. Does he have a wife? Yes. У Марии есть муж. Does Maria have a husband? Again, yes, since the narrator, Kevin, is her husband. Ее родители пенсионеры. Her parents, pensioners. Again, there's no word like are in Russian. In English, of course, you'd say are her parents pensioners, but in Russian, you just say her parents pensioners. Were her parents pensioners? It says that they don't work because work is not interesting, but it doesn't specifically say that they are pensioners, so I believe that the correct answer here is не знаю. It's not explicitly stated in the text whether they are pensioners or not. Они испанцы? Are they Spaniards? Did it explicitly... I'm pretty sure that it didn't say anything about Spaniards. Did it say where they're from? It says the cat. The cat is from Russia. But other than that, it didn't say anything else about where people are from. And Kevin is not really a Russian name, I don't think. So we may assume that these people are actually not Russians. So they might be from somewhere else, but it doesn't say that they're Spaniards. So I think, again, the answer is don't know. Do Kevin and Maria have children? Yeah, they did, didn't they? Or did they? Does it say anything here about... I don't see anything about... I think the answer they're looking for, actually, I'm just checking my answer sheet, and I have here no for an answer. So I don't remember Kevin explicitly stating that he doesn't have children, but I think the point is that since this is his family, if he had children, he would have probably mentioned them, because it's unlikely that he would have introduced his family and then excluded his children. Why would he do that? But it should have, if they expect you to know that, they should have explicitly said that. But I think the idea here is the technically correct answer should be не знаю, because I don't think that he explicitly says I don't have or we don't have children. But the answer they're looking for here is no, because he didn't mention his children and his family. У Elizabeth нет мужа. Does Elizabeth have no husband? This could be a confusing question, because if you say yes or no, if you say yes, does that mean yes, she does have a husband, or yes, she has no husband, and vice versa? Hold on, what did it say about Elizabeth? Yeah, so Elizabeth is his mother. Domохозяйка, I believe that means dom is home, so I believe that means she's a housewife. I think the answer they're looking for here is no, because I think I'm going to assume that Elizabeth has a husband. Actually, it doesn't explicitly say. Again, it doesn't say whether they're married or not. They are Kevin's parents, And obviously you can have children without being married, so theoretically they could have had Kevin without getting married, but these are clean living Russian families. These aren't families living in sin, so I think they want to encourage the idea that we should assume that they are married, and so therefore, does Elizabeth have no husband? If we said yes, that would mean she has no husband, so I believe the answer is no. She does not have no husband. She has a husband. Yeah, this is getting pretty confusing. This is not even a matter of the language anymore. This is just a matter of interpreting how they want you to answer the questions. У Кирка есть работа. Does Kirk have work? Does he have a job? Yes, he does. He says he's an auditor and he works every day a lot. So, does he have работа? Yes, he does. Does he have a friend? Kiro. This is not Kevin, this is Kiro. Does Kiro have a friend? Yeah, who was the one who had a... Yeah, Kira has her drug Martin. So, does she have a friend? Yes. And finally, у Кевина есть кот. Does Kevin have a cat? Yes, he does. Why did this get marked as wrong? Okay, now I'm quite annoyed. Okay, let me review my answers, because I have an answer sheet with the answers on it from doing this previously. If you're wondering where I got the answers from, I don't have any secret source. I just had to figure it out myself, and I took down the answers that I took from doing these exercises previously. So I don't have any inside source on where to get this information. It's really just that I went through this previously and I recorded the answers. All of this seems correct. All of this appears to match. I think this one is the... Hold on. Kira is drug. Yeah, I answered the wrong thing here. The guy's name is Kevin. Kevin works. Kirk does not. Kirk is his father, and Kirk does not work. Okay, that was my mistake. For some reason, I thought that this was about the narrator, but this is not about the narrator. This is about the narrator's dad, Kirk, and Kirk does not work. Okay, there we go. So now we have the correct answers here. So just for review, these are the answers, in case anybody going through this wants to see the answers quickly. Okay, and the final exercise of the lesson. Найдите правильную форму. Choose the correct form. So, what are we supposed to do here? Are we... Oh, I see. The first one is filled in for you as an example. So, the moja siestra, because sister is feminine, and so it's moja. Okay, žena is... this is exactly what I was saying before. Žena could be, because его is his and ее is hers, so it could be his or her wife, theoretically. In many Western European countries now, a woman could also have a wife, but in Russian there's simply the assumption that a wife is a man's wife, and so I'm not going to comment on this here. Some people may dislike that, some people may actually like that, some people may just not care. I'm not going to comment on this one way or another. Please do not start huge debates on whether they should recognize phrases like his husband or her wife. This is not the subject here. This is just about the Russian language. So we'll just assume that this, since it's a wife, it should be his wife. Oh, you don't have to drag it. You just click on it. Did that? Okay, yeah. Его жена. Okay. And similarly, it's a muž, a man, so let's say that's her husband. Okay. And now we can choose moj or moja brat. Brat is obviously masculine, so it's moj. And yeah, zovut it's not on zovut, but его zovut. So yeah, ее есть семья I don't think makes any sense. It's у нее есть семья. Okay, and then similarly, yeah, not она зовут, but ее зовут Маша. Как yeah, not как ты зовут, but как тебя зовут, what's your name? Меня зовут Петр, not I зовут Петр, but to me, the formation is меня зовут. And finally, есть дети, this is like a possessive form, so у него. There we go, lesson completed. Okay. Sorry if that got a bit awkward at times. I know that I've been stumbling through some of these a bit, but I hope that it is still fairly informative. I think that overall we're making it through these pretty well. I hope that the things that I say make sense, and I hope that you are able to understand what I'm trying to explain. So. Thanks for watching, everyone. This has been Lesson 4 of Learn Russian, and we will see each other again, hopefully for Lesson 5. Until then, bye-bye for now.